I am with ORCTV, and this is What's Linda Cooking. Today we are doing two like appetizer kind of dessert things. We are doing two different types of salsa. So that's what we're going to do. And what I love about this is you can bring these to backyard barbecues, have them for, to go, when you're going someplace. Really great, easy to transport, and you can make them ahead of time, which is really nice, okay? So here we go. We're going to start. And you know what? I'm going to start the one that is sweet first. And this is going to be an apple berry salsa, okay? So in this bowl, I already have some of my stuff. Look at how nice this looks. Everybody see it? Look at how nice. And if you could smell it, it smells so nice too. So first off, what we're going to do is I'm going to use this knife right here, and we are going to cut off the tops of these strawberries. And we want to kind of cut them fairly small, okay? So I'm going to use just this little gadget because it's easier to do. We're going to put these in here, slice them like that, and then turn them around and slice them again, okay? And it's just going to get them a little bit. And you can cut them by hand if you want, but you know what? I like the easy way out, as everybody who knows me knows, okay? So that's the strawberries. Next thing we're going to put in here is a little bit of kiwi, okay? And I always have a hard time peeling the kiwi, but we're going to try to get through this, because this one's a little bit tough to go through. And I do have another peeler that does best, but I literally forgot it. So, and normally I would put double the kiwi in that I have, but I plain forgot to get 4. I was like, oh, I just need 2, and I should have really gotten 4. So you want to kind of, the recipe that is in front of you, and the one that I'm going to put on my business page, which is www.facebook.com, What's Linda Cooking, okay? That is my business page. I'm going to put it on there so y'all see it. Anybody who's watching this on TV is going to be able to see that, see the recipe there. So we're going to also slice this here, and I'm just going to go like that. I love this for a fruit platter because, if you just want to make a fruit platter, you can just slice them and put them on a platter too, okay? But I just love this apple berry salsa. Am I doing it the wrong way? Yep. Let's do it this way. There we go. And we're just going to throw that in there. Okay, so what do we have so far in here? We have strawberries, we have kiwi, and it's an apple berry salsa, so we need a little bit of apple. And the best one to do is a Granny Smith apple. They're a little bit crunchier, a little bit sour, which actually works really well with some of the other ingredients that we are putting in here. And there's a couple of different ways that you can serve this apple berry salsa, okay? A lot of times people will make some chips with it, okay, like tortilla chips, homemade tortilla chips. And for that, you're just going to take like corn tortillas, okay, and just cut them up into triangles and kind of put a little bit of oil on them, like a neutral oil, not a olive oil. You want like a canola, something that doesn't taste, that you can't taste it that much. Spray it with a little bit of that. Spray it, and then, let me see, what can I cut this up with? Let's see, I'm going to make this a little bit easier on myself and chop this. I'm trying to figure out what I'm making next, too. We don't want mixed flavors. Like you don't want jalapeno in the apple berry salsa. Okay. You would love that? Okay. So I'm just going to chop them up really quick. And hope nothing goes all over the place. So chop up the apples. What was I talking about? I'm sorry. Okay, thank you. You're going to be our scribe. Yes, you're going to be our scribe there. And keep me on track. Somebody has to keep me on track. Oh, this is what happens when I got too much in here. Let's see. There we go. There we go. So you're going to spray them with a little bit of oil and then just cinnamon and sugar on them, okay? And then bake them into chips. okay? So we're gonna throw this right in here. Oh my gosh, look how gorgeous. And then, so the apple doesn't brown, we're gonna do a little bit of orange, plus the flavor is amazing. So you can serve this with the chips, okay? And I'm just gonna put the zest. And you wanna see how I'm moving this orange a lot? That's because you don't want the white pith in there, okay? That's called pith, okay? And maybe it'll be $1 million question on something. Okay, so anyways, you don't want that in there because it's a little bitter, okay? I always say all that useless facts I have, my husband hates it when I play Jeopardy because I have a lot of useless facts in my head. But anyway, so this is why I'm moving this around so I don't get that white pith in there, okay? So we've got that, and look at, I want to show you. Can you see it? Yes. Yeah, okay? So we've got that nice zest, and the citrus is the most flavorful part, believe it or not. I mean, the zest is the most flavorful part of the citrus. So when, before I started doing what I do, I would look at a recipe that said, you know, put in the zest, and then I would skip it. You don't want to do that, okay? Because it is the most flavorful part, okay? So we're just going to juice this orange and throw that in. That's going to give it great flavor, but it's also going to make it so those apples do not get yucky, okay? So we're just going to toss this. Just look at how great that looks, okay? So you can put this on top of, you know what I need, Linda? I think I left, nope, I didn't. There's one underneath here. Hold on. I might need this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm now going to put, so what was I saying? What is on what we can serve this on? Pound cake. That's what we're doing today, is pound cake. You can put it on top of pound cake, angel food cake, or the chips, okay? So I have not tried it with regular chips, but I'm sure it'll be fine. So I'm just gonna mix this up a little bit, okay? And I've got some apple jelly, okay? And then I've got just a little bit of brown sugar. So we're gonna put that in there. I'm gonna mix it up and then toss it. Because the reason why I'm gonna mix it up in here, I wanna get this apple kind of jelly not as, not as globby. That's a technical cooking term, globby, okay? And so we're gonna throw this right in here. And if you want, you can mix it with the juice, which will probably make it even better if you mixed it with the juice. But you know what? I'm doing this in front of you, and sometimes I mess up a little bit. Okay, so we got that there. Toss this in. And this is going to coat this so nicely, okay? And then, so again, chips, pound cake, angel food cake, anything like that. So that is salsa number 1, okay? So, and I was going to show you how we're going to serve it and show you on the pound cake. So let's put this over here. Let me clean up a little bit because I am a messy cook. My mother is the neatest little cook in the world. My father and I are like tornadoes, okay? So if there is something that I can just, put in something, like use a bowl, use this, that, I'm going to do it. Okay, so we're gonna need this again, so we're going to put this aside. So, yes? Can we go back to the tortilla chips for 1
Yes.
sec? Are we putting them in the oven?
Oven, sorry.
Yes. You're going to put them in an oven or an air fryer or something like that. Just kind of spray it with a little bit of oil, cinnamon sugar blend on top, bake it in the oven until they're crisp, and you have them. And what I love about this is this can be made the day before, and your chips can be made the day before, okay? So let's move these so you can see what's going on here. So I've got some tomatoes. And let's cut up this other tomato, okay? And I'm just serving this in my rectangular cool and serve because, number one, you're going to be able to see through it. Number two, it's great for transporting, so that's why. And it's big, and there's a lot of ingredients that are going to go into this. So I'm taking a tomato knife, and I'm just slicing and then cutting in, the tomato up into, just little chunks. You don't need to be perfect. During the pandemic, it was amazing. My sister, Tina, who does not cook at all, she hates it when I talk about her too. She started cooking at home a little bit, and she's like, I like cooking at home. Well, but she's like, I like cooking at home because I can get exactly what I want, and that's exactly why I like to cook at home. Because if I don't like a particular ingredient like jalapeno, I can change it to something else, So that's why I love to cook at home. I can tailor it. Plus, it's so darn cheaper. And anybody who knows me knows I'm kind of thrifty to cook at home. Okay, so we have our tomatoes in there. So here's what else we have. A can of black beans, okay? Rinsed. You always want to rinse your black beans. And if you have a pressure cooker at home, like I have a pressure cooker, a lot of times what I do is I cook up beans and I just drain them and put them in Ziploc bags in the freezer. So then I just grab them. It has a lot less sodium than your beans in a can, okay? So part of that rinsing is getting rid of the sodium, a lot of the salt and stuff, okay? So we've got some black beans in there. So I want some red onion. And I'm just going to chop this up. And yes, I know there's apple on this, but it's okay. Believe me, it'll be okay. Okay. And I used a red onion just because I love the color in there. If you do not have red onion and you only have a white or a Vidalia, yes, you can use that, okay? You can use that because it's your recipe. You can do whatever you want when you're cooking from home. That's what I love. Okay, so we're going to put that in there. Look at how nice this is looking already. Oh. We don't want the strawberry in there, or maybe we do. I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to put that. Look at that. Love it. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so now we're going to do some corn. Now, the best thing to do, if you don't have scissors in your kitchen, you need some scissors, just so you know. Just so you know, and hide them from anybody else in your house because they'll be using them for things that they shouldn't be using them for. So we're going to put some corn in here, and I just might want to do the entire thing. Do I have any clean one? Does anybody mind if I use this one? Not at all. Okay. So let's kind of mix this in, and you know what? I think I'm going to put a little more corn in here. I can put as much as I want in here. What do you think, the whole bag? Okay. It was. And so I just defrosted it. It could be a little bit more frozen still, but it will defrost. And if you make this ahead of time, you absolutely can put it in there frozen because it's going to defrost as we go along. Look at how nice that looks already. Okay. Huh. Mm-hmm. No, it won't get too wet. Mm-mm. It really doesn't have too much. And you can drain it, a little bit, put this in and drain it, but I would just leave it in there. It'll be fine. Okay, so next, jalapeno. Okay. Remember, I can't touch my hands. Now, of course, you want to take the ribs out if you don't want it as hot. You don't want the seeds if you don't want it as hot. And I'm going to go really easy on y'all and just do that much, okay? How's that? Is that good? There was once at the Council on Aging in Rochester, I did a sausage, and hot sausage was on sale for 99 cents a pound. I said, I'm going to get that. Never again. People were crying. And I do not want any of you crying. Okay. So see how I chopped it down really, really fine? That's, because we want to kind of just mix it in so you're not going to get a lot of, the heat and stuff. Okay, let's get those wayward things in there. So that's that. Now we're going to make a little dressing, okay? Oh no, I need to get this. This was from my garden. I could put it in here with the dressing. Okay, so I got a little bit of cilantro. And this I got in my garden. Do yourselves a favor, okay? I'm going to rough chop it and then put it in here. Do yourselves a favor and plant some herbs. They're weeds, okay? They grow really well, okay? And so far my woodchuck has not found them, okay? And my pool guy, Dan, some of you might know him, he's like, I can take care of it for you. I'm like, no, they're like my pets, okay? I know, but they know they have a softie. We have some olive oil in here, okay? They know they have a softie in me, so they're not. And last year, oh my gosh, I have to tell you this story. Last year, the hottest day of the season, we have some rice vinegar. So we have olive oil and rice vinegar in here, okay? And then we're going to do some salt and pepper. Hottest day of the summer. I hear a splash. I'm like, oh my gosh, someone fell in the pool. I see a black thing going like this, like literally in the dark, in the deep end. Went in, and he's like this. He was the baby. And then he goes and he's walking up my stairs. I'm up ahead. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm like, they make their nests in my stone wall. I'm like, I give you a fenced-in place. I give you food with my peach tree and my garden. And now you have to take my pool too? Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So anyways, yes, they swim and they climb trees. Just so you know, they climb trees. It was a woodchuck. Woodchuck. Mm-hmm. So let's do, and my father-in-law said when I said he climbed the tree, the peach tree, to get the peaches, he's like, this was several years ago, they don't climb. Then he's like, they climb. I'm like, yes, they do. We're just doing a tiny bit of the zest in here, just a little bit. I just want a little bit of the flavor in there, just like that. And then we're going to juice this. Let's get the back of that. Okay, then we're just going to juice this, and I'm going to, and it's okay that we have a little bit of orange in here. It'll be okay. It'll be okay. Let's not go crazy, okay? My husband would be like, oh! He's very much like, you can't do that. You can't mix that. You can't change anything like that. See how my daughter said that I have no filter? This is true. No filter. I am an open book. Okay, any questions so far? So I'm just making the dressing for this, and we're just going to then process it up, and I'm going to show you how it gets served. Okay? Okay. So I'm going to put our juice in there. I'm going to take my little Manny, I call him Manny, my sous chef. Sorry, Linda. Replaced. So we're just going, what I like is this all emulsifies, and I like that word, emulsifies. And there we go. And we have our little dressing. And this is how I make a lot of my dressings. Look at how nice that emulsified in there. And so we're just going to pour this right in here. It's like so quiet. Okay. And then I'm going to toss it. Look at how nice and colorful this is. And this is like, to me, this is like perfect for a backyard barbecue. You know? Does it, you know, you can do it ahead of time. It just is amazing.
Linda,
Yes?
how long will that last in the refrigerator? A couple of days, if you want it?
I would say no more than 2.
No more than 2?
Speaking from somebody who has an iron stomach, whose husband will take anything out of the refrigerator and eat it, okay? But I would say 2. I would say 2. So you can make your own chips if you want. Can I have the pound cake, please? So you can make your own chips, okay? And I'm going to show you how I'm going to, normally, especially during COVID times, and still, for your backyard barbecues, what I would do is I would have everything separated, okay? So I would put this in like those little cups, the clear cups and stuff that you have. I would put it in there and then put the chips around it and put it out so that people just grab one. Same thing with the appleberry salsa. If you were going to do that, you do, serve it that way. Just because we need to be a little bit more, just cautious, a little bit more cautious about things. So look at this, and I'm not going to put the appleberry salsa on the same, because, So we're going to take the pound cake, and again, if you were going to serve this with the chips, you would put the chips, the salsa in, and then the chips all around it. Let's take this one. Just a little bit on top, just a little bit, and some of the juice, because this kind of put the juice in there. I'm going to need a little thing for that. But you're just going to do that just for a little bit. And this is black bean corn salsa from one of my hosts from like 20 years ago, and appleberry salsa. Perfect for, thank you, perfect for your backyard barbecues, I would make that salsa for like the holidays even, or anything, any time of year. I would make that salsa, okay? Because it's just easy, fresh, just tastes great. Does anybody have any questions before I wrap up? You're all so shy.
I went out of my head.
Okay.
What type of knife you were using? Is there a certain name for that?
That is called a which one? This one?
Yes.
Santoku, Santoku, whatever you say. I call it a Santoku. And what I love about it is those little divots make it so that when you're slicing something like potatoes, it doesn't suction to your knife, and you can, kind of take that off easily. So that's my go-to knife, actually. That's a 5-inch knife. It's my go-to, and the other one that's my go-to, I have 2 others that are my go-to. 5-inch utility and a chef knife. To me, you have those, and you're all set. My mother-in-law will say you need a paring knife, because she uses a paring knife for everything. But I don't. I use those 3 knives most in my kitchen.
The 5-inch is considered small, but women usually prefer that, right? The smaller one.
Well, it depends. I like the 8-inch chef knife too.
Oh, the chef knife.
And so it all depends. If I'm doing a lot of chopping, I tend to use my 8-inch, because it really glides through really, really nicely. And the weight of the knife kind of helps it. Also, you want to have a sharp knife. And one of the places that I found, which is really, really inexpensive to get, is in Lakeville, and maybe any True Value will do it, but there's a True Value in Lakeville. It's like $2, $4 per knife to get sharpened. True story, when I first started my business, I got a set of knives, and they were sitting on my counter all the years. My daughter Jewel got married, and I said, "Hey Jewel, do you want these knives?" Because I literally have 4 other sets of knives from that time. And so I grabbed them, and she's like, "Yeah, Ma." I grabbed the knives, got them professionally sharpened, and I asked her months later, I said, "How are the knives?" She said, "Ma, they're the best knives in our house." So if you're looking at your knives and you're saying, "These are yucky knives," I'm going to say, as long as they're really great knives, try to get them professionally sharpened. Well, you can get mine, but you get them professionally sharpened. You should get them professionally sharpened every once in a while anyways. Good knives are probably the most important tool in your kitchen. bar none, you know, you want good knives. And it's worth the investment to get them. And then just keep them sharpened. Did you have a question? You're all set? Yes.
Now, if I doubled everything,
Yeah.
I noticed that the onion was a good size.
Yep.
And it says a small chop.
Yeah, I did a medium.
That was a medium.
That was a medium.
So doubling everything, is there anything that we should go over to get that taste, a certain taste?
I don't think that there's any problem with going over on any of the ingredients. Honestly, I don't think that there's any reason why you can't. Like if you like corn, put more corn in. Okay? If you like black beans, put more black beans in it. If you want it more tomato based, put tomato paste. More tomatoes in it. So that's the great thing when you cook at home. You decide what the things that you like, you're going to put more in. And just go from there. And because I never follow a recipe. I don't know, did you see me look at my recipe that much? No, okay? Because I don't follow a recipe that much. You're lucky you had all the measurements, because who knows? Anything else? Okay. Well, everyone, this is Linda Medeiros for ORCTV. We are at the Council on Aging. And you know what? If you want to be down here, check the Wanderer, check the newsletter, and see when I'm going to be here next. So you can come down and you can try out the food too. Or you can just watch me on TV. And if you think that like if you're sitting at home like, oh my gosh, I could do a much better job than Linda, you can and call ORCTV and see. You might be able to do a great cooking show too. So this is Linda Medeiros. Again, the recipes are going to be on my website, facebook.com/What's Linda Cooking, no spaces, no apostrophes. That's where you're going to see the recipes. So this is Linda Medeiros. Bye for now and stay safe, everyone.